Hello, this is Art, and today's video I would like to talk to you about how to press forward after you've been scapegoated by your narcissistic family system. You know, how do you move on? How do you function? How do you operate? You know, when you don't have roots, when you don't have sort of like a backbone, something to fall back on, which is, in healthy families, that's what you're taught. Healthy families will give you roots, they'll give you something to hold on to. You kind of grow up naturally knowing how to navigate life's ups and downs, and to sort of keep yourself grounded. You have a good backbone. But when you're a scapegoat, you've never been taught these things. And so I would like to talk to you today about what those rules should be, uh, how to navigate life for yourself as you press forward, so that you can vanquish any sort of self-doubt and you know the low self-esteem, and so that you stop doubting yourself, okay, as you move forward and work on your healing progress, okay. So first of all, the hardest thing to do uh, would be, I think, in my opinion, to fully embrace your authentic self, who you are. And the reason why I think it can be so hard to do that, it's because when you're a child growing up in a narcissistic family system, you will be demonized for when you attempt to be authentic at home. You will be given silent treatments. You'll be punished. I mean, anything that deviates away from the narcissistic parents' vision of what you're supposed to be, anything that deviates from that, it will cause, you know, abuse and family abandonment. It will cause for people to turn their backs on you. It will cause silent treatments. It will cause for people to really betray you, overall. So when you grow up in this kind of environment where your authenticity is constantly being, um, you know, used against you, they will tell you it's your character. Your character is the reason why you're abused, right? It's your character. It's your personality. Your personality is a problem, right? You're told all your life that your personality is a problem. And then you go out there and then you want to be yourself. And it can really be extra terrifying to do that, because when you become authentic, you can't avoid people disliking you. When you learn to discern yourself, you can't avoid people, not everybody will like you. Not everybody will do that. But for us, when that happens, when somebody decides that they dislike us, it's a trigger, because it's linked. Oh my God, they don't like me. They're gonna hurt me. They don't like me. That means that I don't deserve to be loved. They don't like me. That means that I deserve to be abandoned. And then we catastrophize. One person will dislike us, maybe 10 people will like us, and then we'll zoom in on that one person that dislikes us, for example, because it's so hard to because it's a trigger. Somebody disliking you brings you back to how your narcissistic parent treated you as you were trying to discover yourself and discover who you are. So embrace your authenticity. It's okay that not everybody will like you, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be a fight, and it doesn't mean that you're gonna get hurt. It doesn't mean that something terrible will happen to you. You can learn to accept yourself as you are, and slowly start being okay with with how the world will respond to that. And when you're authentic, you also what you're doing is that you're inviting the right people into your life, because the right people, the people that your people will be attracted to you, the people that are like-minded, they're going to want to hang out with you, because you guys are like-minded, and that's why it's so important, because that's when you become authentic, you really find your own people. You find out where it is that you actually belong, you know. So work on embracing your authenticity, okay? Then this is, of course, this is very difficult to do, but try and let go of the unchangeable past. Try and let go of the things that you can't change, because dwelling on past events or mistakes, it robs us of the present moment, you know. So by practicing letting go of the past and really practicing mindfulness on where you are right now and how you can get yourself to where you want to be uh, in the future, that's really the trick. That's the key, you know. You can't change the past, you can't change what happened to you, but you can learn from it, and you can also use it, use your knowledge and your wisdom. You can transcend that into becoming a healer yourself. You can use those experiences to help other people lift themselves out of the fog that they're in, and you can pass on your knowledge, so it's not for nothing. It's not for nothing. You gained a lot of wisdom. Your experiences made you a lot wiser than somebody who only, you know, does everything according to the books. you know Reading something does not compare to and the actual experiencing something, because when you're experiencing something, that something happens in your mind, and it really it brings you wisdom. So again, try and let go of this wish of trying to change the past, and realize that the past made you who you are today, and use that to your advantage to press forward. Then the next rule is take responsibility for your healing. Take responsibility for everything in your immediate, for your actions. Take responsibility for yourself. Something that I learned is that other people can't take your pain away. um, they can't heal you. I mean, yes, of course, it's good to go see a therapist and to talk about it. I'm not discounting that. It's important to share your experiences, but it's not enough. It won't be enough for you to fully um, heal. Nobody can take away your pain for you. So even if I'll tell you from personal experience. I mean, I spent such a long time, so many years. I went to therapy, and I would talk to friends about the same things over and over and over and over. And I also went to, I did a zootherapy program. I became a zootherapist. And in that program, you know, part of the learning process was that all the students, we would do therapy with each other, and we would practice techniques with each other, and so on. And even after all of this, I still felt like it didn't matter how many times I talked about it. The pain was still the same. Like, I couldn't get past it, even though I kept talking about it. And so the missing component, the missing piece, truly was for me to process what I've been through, and to take responsibility for my own feelings, and to turn that around within me. Like, I had to start doing that work within. Talking about it is good, but you also have to realize that you have to you have to be an active participant in your own healing process. Other people can't take your pain away from you. You have to do that yourself. So you have to do the self-care, sit with your emotions, sit with your feelings, process, what you've been through, and really get stubborn with your healing process. And having said that, the next thing is work on breaking those self-destructive patterns. I know I had them, and I think that, our self-destructive patterns. There's a lot of reasons for that stuff. I mean, you're surrounded by well, first of all, you're raised by a narcissistic parent who's constantly repeating to you over and over and over that there's something wrong with you. And the way that the subconscious mind works is that, when you internalize those messages, eventually you're going to start manifesting what you internalized. So if your narcissistic parent keeps telling you that you're not smart enough, you'll never amount to anything, you're not good enough to do this, you're not good enough to do that, eventually you'll believe it. And I'll tell you, I've had some really good jobs in my life, there was, and not just jobs, but places where people welcome me. But I would self-sabotage that. I always felt, okay, this is good, but there's something wrong. There's something, it's like, it was as if I didn't deserve the happiness. It was as if, like, I didn't belong in healthy environments. So I kept leaving, and I kept looking and looking and looking and looking. That was like a pattern with me. I never kept something good for too long. As soon as something was sort of too good, I was like, no, this is something, something's not right, and I would disappear, and I would look for the next thing that was better. So become aware of those self-destructive patterns. And actually, I'm going to do a video that's more in depth about that later on. After that, it's practice self-forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for the wrong choices that you did in your life. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. You did what you had to do. At the time, you did what you did with the knowledge that you were given. You did what you did because you didn't know better. And that's the whole point of life, is growth. Everybody starts off as a fool. The greatest kings start off as fools. Every great thinker that you listen to, every person that inspires you, they all began somewhere. They all began their journey in the beginning. Everybody starts off as a fool. Everybody makes mistakes. So truly, you have to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for your mistakes. I know that your narcissistic parent demonized you for those mistakes, but mistakes are part of life. We all make them. So forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for your mistakes. Take accountability, and then do what you got to do to get yourself to a better place. Okay, once again, we take responsibility, accountability, and we do what we got to do. The next rule is seek authentic understanding. Okay, not everybody will understand what you've been through. Okay, not everybody can understand what narcissistic abuse is like. A lot of people will say, why don't you just leave? Well, because it's when you're raised in a narcissistic family system, this is, your brain develops as your brain is developing, surrounded by dysfunction. You will have all sorts of issues that you will have to address within yourself, things that were normalized. The trauma bond, you don't want to be alone. It's terrifying to be alone all of a sudden. It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying to leave your family behind, even if they mistreat you, because being alone is very scary. And also, they as you grow in a narcissistic family system, they instill all sorts of beliefs in you, and then undoing that is a whole thing all by itself. The belief that you can do it, the belief that you're good enough, the belief that you're not helpless, the belief that there's so much learning that needs to be done. And if somebody has never been through it, if somebody doesn't come from a narcissistic family system where you're constantly gaslighted, where you're constantly made to believe that dysfunction is normal, everybody's normalizing all that stuff around you all the time, and then you deal with the guilt, you deal with the shame, It's not like it's not like a simple process like 1 2 3 everything is good. No, it takes years. It takes years. So it's really important for you to surround yourself with people that understand what you've been through, and not to keep seeking validation from people who will not give it to you because they don't understand what you've been through, or who are cruel, or narcissists, or enablers who enable the narcissist in your life. You can't, you will not get understanding or validation from the people who don't want to give it to you. You're not going to get who never gave it to you. From people who keep taking away your power. They keep taking away your power so that the system can remain intact as it's always functioned, as it's always been. So seek authentic understanding from people that are safe for you, okay? Then it's really important for you to balance your wants and your needs. Remember that happiness actually comes from you fulfilling your needs, okay? Because wants is one thing, and I explained that in my previous video, and I apologize if you hear that sound. I have a pig. He's my pet. He's walking around in the background right now making some noise. So balancing your needs is really important. Your needs are not wants. A want is like a designer clothes, or going to a fancy restaurant, or having a nice car. It's nice to have those things, but that's not where happiness will come from, because it won't sustain you. You'll get used to your wants. The second that you get that phone, 6 months later, it's going to become old, and it's not going to have that new feeling anymore. And then you look for the next thing, the next way to fulfill a want, So wants are not the answer. It's really your needs. Is a need for personal development, for creative expression, for safe emotional safety, for respecting yourself. It's your needs. Focus on your needs. Your needs are not wants, and your needs are essential. And you are not selfish for ensuring that your needs are met. You are not selfish. If you have a need to get in shape, prioritize going to the gym. Go for runs. Make that a priority. It's a need for you. That's it. If anybody tells you, "Oh, why are you always going to the gym?" Well, whatever. That's a need for me. And if you want to have a healthy relationship, then respect my needs just like I will respect your needs. It's mutual, right? It's not that one person's needs are respected and the other person's needs don't exist because they hinder. No, everybody has needs, and a healthy relationships, we uplift each other. We don't step on each other's head. But like I said, I spoke about this in a previous video, so you can check that out if you want my full take on wants versus needs. The next thing is embrace all the feelings that you feel, the good and the bad. Don't repress the negative. Don't repress. And again, I made a video that explained emotions, feelings, and triggers, so you can take a look at that as well. But embrace what you feel as you feel it. Okay? Now the thing is, there's a difference between allowing your feelings to flow through you and processing them healthily, and playing the victim like the narcissistic parent in your life most likely did. Because they took that to a level that is just pure selfish, self-centered, and evil. Okay? They use their emotions to control you. They use their emotions for them, they believe that when they feel bad, when they have uncomfortable emotions, that's a reason that gives them a green card to abuse. They can do whatever they want because they feel angry. They can do whatever they want with you because they had a difficult, something happened to them. They can do whatever they want to you because something happened to them, and now everybody has to worship their roller coaster of emotions, because they refuse to take responsibility for their own feelings, and they want and they believe that they have the right to hurt other people on account of those emotions. That's victimhood mindset. It's very unhealthy, and that is very different from you allowing yourself to feel what you're supposed to feel, processing those emotions, letting them let them take their course through your body, because you can't really fight them. You can't fight what you feel. It's you feel what you feel. But then, as you process your emotions, you take responsibility. Look, if loved ones are nearby and you're not feeling well, go outside, excuse yourself, excuse me, I'm feeling triggered right now. I need to take a moment to gather my thoughts, and we'll continue this conversation when I get back. There's things that you can do to to process those emotions healthily and to not hurt the people around you. So just it's important not to confuse what the narcissistic parent did with you and what you need to do, to get yourself to a healthier place. And as you process those emotions, as you don't fight your body's natural responses, but you process what you need to feel healthily, those emotions and those feelings will lose their grip over you, and it will get easier. You'll learn to snap out of it faster. You'll learn to snap out of it faster as you practice doing this. Okay, so that's basically the main rules that I live by. That's how I operate, and I wanted to share that with you, sort of to help you navigate your path as you go forward. It's really helpful to have a set of rules that you can always fall back on, and so that you don't doubt yourself anymore. Don't doubt yourself. And remember, the most important thing is to love yourself, trust yourself. I love myself, I trust myself. Repeat this mantra as you go forward. Focus on yourself, focus on your self-care, and it's gonna be all right.